Good morning, everyone. Let's go do some cardio. Yeah, back physique is looking good. Alright, what's good, everybody? Going to the gym. I mean, not the gym. We going to the running track. It's 8:24 in the morning, Sunday morning. See a lot of people walking, so that's good. You know, people should be being physical, getting healthy. That's what days are all about now, convenience. That's what us humans are all about now, is convenience. Truly believe the pandemic really catalyzed everything, all the convenience into existence. You don't even have to show up personally for an interview. You just schedule a Zoom call interview. Your employer is probably halfway around the country. You want to lose weight? Well, what's the most convenient way to lose weight? Let me just take a pill or take a shot. The convenience is there. I don't have to worry about going to the gym. I don't have to worry about getting up. I don't have to worry about doing anything. It's so convenient, you know? So there's convenience, and then there's motivation, inspiration, discipline. If you're living your life the most convenient way possible, at what point is it you're just lazy now? You know, wow, I've been getting DoorDash deliveries for a week straight now. I haven't stepped out of my home. Nowadays, everybody wants convenience. It's not about finding the motivation or finding the inspiration, you know, because the motivation is there, the inspiration is there. If you already had a thought of trying something, doing something, you're already motivated. So the motivation is there. You're not lacking motivation. The most important part, I think, is finding a starting point, finding where to start. Given all the information that you can get online now, and everybody thinks that they're an expert in whatever, you just don't know where to start. The decisions, the options are just too overwhelming. You don't really know where to start, you know? Like, should you start with diet first? Should you start with cardio first? Should you start with weightlifting first? It's called decision fatigue. Like, you have so many options, at which point, like, it's really hard for you to decide to pick one, to go with one. You know, so I think that's the number one barrier. In chemistry, it's called the activation energy, right? In chemistry, you call it the activation energy because there's a certain amount of energy required in order to get a chemical process started. It's not about motivation. It's not about inspiration. You know, all that is there. You just need to find and pick up the pieces to start building. That's really all you need to do. In my other video, I said the number one thing that you should focus on is nutrition, because you are what you eat. You can't run away from being what you eat. If you're gonna eat like shit, you're gonna feel like shit, you're gonna be like shit, you're gonna look like shit, you know? If you're eating healthy, if you're eating clean, you're gonna look clean, you're gonna look healthy, you're gonna look strong. And people can tell, people can just tell. Like, you can look at someone and just, wow, you know, you feel their energy. I can feel your energy from 9 planets away. So I highly advise everybody that's wanting to get started on whatever it is, just do your research. Like, really do your research. No one's gonna tell you what to do. You can ask someone, you can go up to the biggest person in the gym, you can go up to the fastest runner on the track, and all they're gonna do is just give you advice on what it is that they do. You know, it's not gonna be extraordinary. You know, it's not gonna be extravagant. Like, if you're waiting to hear a magical reason, magical answer, magical approach, or whatever it is, you know, it's not gonna happen. Because honestly, it's really this simple, right? Calories in, calories out. You just gotta move more. And people will tell you, okay, well, it's not just that simple, but it is just that simple. The laws of thermodynamics makes it that simple. You get out what you put in. You know what I mean? You put in an equal amount of stuff and you will get out an equal amount of stuff. You know? It's like paying for something. It's like going to purchase an item, right? You get what you paid for. You know, maybe there's a deal going on or whatever, but you still get what you paid for. You know what I mean? So life is all about getting as much out of what you put in. If you're gonna put in no effort, you're not gonna get any results. But the motivation, inspiration will always be there, but you need to figure out where is your most appropriate starting point. Like, once you figure out what it is that you want first, and then you can start figuring out what it is you need to do first to go after what you want. So let's talk about discipline. You know, there's a lot of people that talk about like, well, if you ain't got discipline, you know, you're not really gonna make it that far. And then when it comes to discipline, yes, there are days that you're gonna not feel like continuing the process, but you still gotta continue the process. You know, it's gonna be days where you just wanna do nothing, and you know, you don't wanna do nothing, but you still gotta do it. It's gonna be days that you don't wanna go to the gym, you still gotta go to the gym. It's like going to work, you know? Nobody wants to go to the job. When you were young, when you were in high school, it's all about, you know, find the career that you want to have, right? But it doesn't matter what career you have. There's always going to be pros and cons in every job. You just got to pick your poison. Once you pick your poison, you know, that's it. You're programmed to go to the job every day, to wake up every day. Why? Because if you don't, you'll get fired. You know, if you don't have any money to pay your bills. If you don't, you won't make a living. You know, that's how you make a living now. You know, so it's the same thing. You just gotta apply that same concept to what it is that you're gonna do. You know, if you're really gonna believe that, like, what it is that you're doing will get you somewhere in the future, you know, then just stick to it. All right, I'm almost to the track here. Let's make a turn. I'm gonna go run my 2 miles. Run my 2 miles on this track, bro. I mean, I already said like cardio is important, you know, but it's just like, when I stopped doing cardio and I came back to doing cardio, I felt like how heavy my body was. I could feel it in my knees. You know, the pain, every step, every impact. It was just like, damn, my cartilage is just getting destroyed right now. And then that's one thing about us humans too. Like we'll always try to compensate, no matter if we notice it or not. You know? I'm trying to compensate right now. I'm trying to burn off all the ice cream I ate last night. So I'll catch y'all in a bit. Just finished my 2 mile run. It's under 30 minutes. It's pretty quick today. I didn't time it because I forgot my Apple Watch at home. Otherwise, I would show you guys I'm not capping. But even if I was capping, would you guys even care? Anyways, so yeah, damn, got in a good sweat. Whew. Awareness videos, not motivational videos. Because if you're always going to rely on motivation, things will never happen, because you're not going to be motivated all the time, you know what I mean? You got to find systems that will work for you. It's all about systems. It's all about, you know, having a systemic approach to things. So it's like at your work, you know? Is people motivated to work? Fuck no. People just want to go home, clock in and clock out. That's all they want to do, man. I'm the same way. I just want to go in, do my shit, and go out. You know, I'm not there to passionate over my job or whatever, right? The motivation is so I can have money to pay my bills to make a living. You know what I mean? So that should be like your ultimate motivation too, to be healthy, to be light on your feet, to be sharp. Because if you're healthy, you're going to be sharp. Your mind's going to be sharp. So it's all about having a systemic approach to things. You know, it's like when you go on a road trip, you know, y'all talk about a plan to go on a road trip. Y'all plan to go on a road trip. Nobody goes around, huddle up in a circle and be like, all right, guys, let's talk about a motivation to go on a trip. Who's motivated to go on this trip? Anybody motivated to go on this trip? I'm certainly most motivated to go on this trip. Nobody talks like that, you know what I mean? Everybody talks about like, okay, what's the plan? What are we gonna do? How much money we got? What's the budget? Where are we gonna be? Where are we gonna sleep? Where are we gonna eat? Where are we gonna go next? That's the plan. You know, nobody's gonna be like, okay, who's motivated to go eat at this place? Who's motivated to do this? Who's motivated to go here? Who's motivated to spend this night at the hotel? You know what I mean? Nobody talks about a plan like that. Everybody has a plan for everything, you know? Motivation is just gaslighting. Motivation is gaslighting, you know, because you could watch a video and be super motivated about something, super motivated about doing something, you know? It's like when I watch skate videos, I just suddenly get this motivation to go skate. You ultimately just need a systemic approach to life. You don't need a motivational approach to life. Because there's going to be days where you're just going to wake up, you're going to be like, shit, I don't even want to wake up right now, you know? That's how I was this morning. You know, I didn't want to wake up and run, even though I could have woken up earlier and go run earlier and have a lot more hours to do other things in my life, you know? So it's all about having a systemic approach to things, you know? So don't always rely on motivation and inspiration. You know, you already have all that instilled in you already, you know? The thought that you have wanting to do something is already motivation enough, you know what I mean? All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.